Guys, welcome to Baking for Kids. It's Miss Jen from the main branch of the Gale Warden Library. So glad you're joining me today. I don't know about you guys, if you are my friends that live near the library where I work, but we have had some cold weather. My goodness. Today, I think it got to 20 or 25. It feels like a heat wave. So welcome to the winter edition of Baking for Kids. When Miss Jen thinks about winter, I have to be honest, it's not my favorite time of year. So I try to do things that make it fun. I like all the seasons, and I've come to appreciate winter more. But one of my favorite things about winter is after I'm outside having some fun in the snow, coming inside and having some hot cocoa. So I didn't really want to deal with too many hot things since we're doing baking with kids. There is one little section where we'll need some grown-up help. But this is a baking treat that translates kind of to the hot cocoa. So we have a no-bake hot cocoa treat. Let me talk to you about the ingredients first so you guys can get set up, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so first of all, just so you know, I am cheating just a little bit. What the recipe requires is a 13 by 9 pan. So kind of your standard rectangle baking pan. To be honest, that's a lot of no-bake cocoa treats for Miss Jen. So I'm going to make a half a recipe. But if you guys are making this for the family, make the whole recipe. The recipe we gave you guys in Facebook and online is for the whole tray. So as I'm making my ingredients, I might not even say the amounts because I'm cutting everything in half. But if you follow all the steps and use the quantities or the amounts in the recipe, that'll bake a whole tray. Okay, so we've got the tray. So I'm going to show you instead I have a little mini tray or half tray going on. And then what else do we need? Okay, so we're not using cocoa powder. We're going to use something that I think a lot of kids love, which is Cocoa Puffs. Cocoa Puff cereal. So that's going to be that's our chocolatey part of our cocoa dessert. What else do we have in cocoa? You guys know we're going to have some marshmallows. Anytime I talk to friends in the library or even my own friends, I will ask them, are you a cocoa with marshmallows person or are you a cocoa with whipped cream person? So this is an important cocoa debate. I personally am more of a whipped cream. I find that when I ask people, it's about 50-50%, but we definitely need marshmallows for our cocoa treat. So we need the Cocoa Puffs and the marshmallows. This is really interesting. We're going to put in a dash of cinnamon, and it adds a really neat flavor with the chocolate. As a matter of fact, my friend Miss Grizel, that a lot of you guys know, has mentioned that when she makes hot chocolate, a lot of times she'll add some cinnamon to it when she drinks it. So there's something we're going to use. We do need a couple tablespoons of butter. And like I said before, usually your butter sticks have the markings on them for tablespoons, which makes it even easier. We're going to have chocolate chips. These are semi-sweet. If you have a preference for dark chocolate or milk, you could do that too. And we're getting really fancy with some white chocolate chips. So we have both chocolate and white chocolate. And I think that's it for the ingredients. So it's not that many ingredients. A couple other things, if you're following along at home, you need a saucepan because the one thing we are gonna cook is butter and marshmallows. This is a lot like if you're familiar with Rice Krispie treats or other cereal bars. So we are going to be melting some marshmallow. That's when we would want the grown-up help. And, and hi, Brian. Our friend Brian is here. So we're going to be using the stove very briefly. So we would definitely want grown-up help with that. So you need a pan and your 13 by 9. And then just a couple other things. A couple of measuring cups. I'm using the 1 cup and the 1/4 cup. A measuring spoon. And then something that'll do well in the heat and the hot marshmallows. So I'm using a silicone spatula. Silicone is really nice because it tolerates the heat very well. So we're going to get this melty, gooey, hot marshmallow for a minute or two, and this will do really well with that. One more side note. I have a top secret thing to tell you guys. Miss Jen has a dog. If you've been in any of my programs, you know that. Her name is Sadie. She's here with me today. She shouldn't be on camera, but if we hear a pup at some point barking, like greeting a friend or a neighborhood dog, that's just my dog Sadie, and she will hopefully quiet down quickly. She might not even say anything. She might just be my secret assistant in the background. Okay, so we've got all our ingredients. We've got our Cocoa Puffs. We've got our marshmallows. We've got a little bit of butter. We've got cinnamon and the 2 types of chips. The recipe also mentions like cut up milk chocolate bars if you want them. I'm not going to use them. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do instead. But you can welcome to use that too. You can buy all sorts of candies in miniature now. We see that, especially around Halloween or maybe Valentine's Day. Okay, before we get started, because honestly, this recipe does go pretty quick. I'm going to read a quick story, which I love, which includes a little cocoa right at the beginning, and it's great for winter. It is Sneezy the Snowman. So I'm going to get out of the frame so you guys can see the pages really well. And let's hear about Sneezy really quick, and then we'll bake our recipe. Sneezy the Snowman. Sneezy the Snowman shivered. Brr, it's cold out here, that's for sure. I need a drink to warm me up. So, and you guys pay attention, besides Sneezy and the friends, to these little birdies in the story. They're super cute. Okay, so he's cold. I need a drink to warm me up. Oh, and our friends have a drink. He drank cocoa from a cup. He said with a smile, I like this a lot. You guys, does this seem like a good idea to have a snowman drinking hot cocoa? And then right there, believe it or not, see even the birds like, uh-oh. He melted from drinking something too hot. The children cried out, what should we do? A voice from the puddle said, make me brand new. Good idea. The birds, oh my gosh, you guys, this bird is taking a bath. They rebuilt Sneezy as snowflakes flew. A cold winter wind swirled and blew. The birds are helping. The snowman sneezed a gigantic achoo. I'm sneezing and freezing and shivering too. A little girl said, then let's share. I have something you can wear. Here's my hat to put on your head. Oh my gosh, that's so nice. You look awesome, the children said. The snowman blinked his coal black eyes. The stocking cap was a nice surprise. He looks good. But, uh-oh. Sneezy the snowman shivered. Brrr, it's cold out here, that's for sure. I'm freezing every minute. I'll find a hot tub and sit right in it. Oh my gosh, you guys, no. He found one and smiled. I like this a lot. And then right there, believe it or not, can you guys guess what's going to happen? And look at our little bird friend has a little inner tube for going in the water. He melted from sitting in water too hot. The children cried out, what should we do? A voice from the hot tub said, make me brand new. They rebuilt Sneezy as snowflakes flew. A cold wintered wind swirled and blew. Then Snowman sneezed a gigantic, achoo! The sneezing and freezing and shivering too. A little boy said, then let's share. I have something you can wear. Here's my scarf that's red and blue. I think it would look great on you. Oh my gosh, that's so nice, you guys. The snowman blinked his coal black eyes. The colorful scarf was a nice surprise. Meanwhile, our bird friends are getting in a little snowball fight. It went very well with the long pink hat. The children all said, how about that? But Sneezy the snowman shivered. Brr, it's cold out here, that's for sure. I need to feel some warmth on me. There's a campfire by that tree. Okay, you guys, hot cocoa, a hot tub, and a fire. I don't know about that. He said with a smile, I like this a lot. And then, right there, believe it or not, he melted from standing beside something hot. You guys, this is not a surprise at this point, is it? The children cried out, what should we do? And a voice from the puddle said, make me brand new. They rebuilt Sneezy as snowflakes flew, a cold winter wind swirled and blew. The snowman sneezed a gigantic achoo! I'm sneezing and freezing and shivering too, a little girl said. Then let's share. I have something you can wear. Here's my coat, the perfect fit. I know that you'll look good in it. Here's the problem though. Look at this poor girl now. She looks cold. The snowman blinked his coal black eyes. The bright orange coat was a nice surprise. It went very well with the scarf and hat. The children all said, how about that? But Sneezy said, whew, I'm way too hot. I'll take off all the new clothes I've got. Oh gosh, first he's too warm, or too cold, now he's too warm, and the bird's like teasing his other friend here. I don't think we want that. The children yelled, no, that's not the way. Listen to what we have to say. Buy something cold at the ice cream store. Have 2 scoops, or 3, or 4. Oh my gosh, you guys, check this out. Sneezy ate ice cream 7 scoops high. This is great, the snowman cried. I'm not too cold and I'm not too hot, and I'm wearing clothes I like a lot. He's wearing everybody else's clothes. They look a little chilly. Then after eating every bite, which by the way, look at, our little friend here, he's like ate too much. And look at this giant cone. And he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 scoops. After eating every bite, he said, at last, I feel just right. And this bird is like, whoa, tummy ache, too much ice cream. All right, so I love that story. I think Sneezy is so cute. And hello, Eric. I have another friend, Eric, there. And I love how the kids share, and I love how those little birds get into so much mischief during the story. Okay, time to start our baking. And like I said, this moves pretty quick once we get going, because if you've ever made cereal bars before, once those marshmallows are melted, you kind of want to stir everything together pretty quick, because then after that, it'll kind of start to get sticky really quick again. So we're going to do it quickly once we get going, and we'll go from there. So first thing, I'm doing half a recipe, but if you're following along, since this is sticky, icky, marshmallowy mess, you're going to do like a spray. I have a cooking spray I use sometimes. Or you can just take a little butter and grease the pan, or a little oil. So however you want to do it. If you don't have the fancy spray, which many times I don't have, I'm just going to take a little bit of cooking oil and put it on my paper towel and just rub it in the bottom and sides of my pan. Okay, because we want to make sure that we kind of don't give the cereal a chance. You can even just pour a tiny bit. I'll do it that way too to add just a little more. So I have it, and I'm going to just add a few drops and then just spread it around. And that way we get nice coverage, and it'll be less likely that our cereal bars, our no-bake Cocoa Treats will stick. Okay, so my pan is ready. And really quick, I'm going to close that oil because we do not want that to accidentally tip over. Okay. Another thing, and I've said this many times on baking, I love is it can be fun. It can be a family activity, communal. You're working with science. You're working with math. Like today, I took the recipe and cut it in half. So we're talking about fractions and numbers. So it's really fun. Okay, so we've done that. So next, I'm going to start by putting the butter in the pot and melt it. So for the recipe, it calls for 3 tablespoons of butter. So you're going to take your butter, and I'm going to melt it in my pan. So it's going in there, and I'm going to turn my heat on and get that started. Okay. So I'm going to let it cook for a second. I don't want it to burn. And then when you're doing recipes, a lot of times it helps to look ahead to the next step. So it says melt the butter, and once it's melted, I'm going to add almost all of the marshmallows. So for the recipe you guys have at home, we ask for 5.5 cups of the small marshmallows. So we're going to take 4.5 cups, so almost all. And we're going to put them in with the butter once the butter's melted and stir, stir, stir it up till it becomes like a melted, marshmallowy, buttery goodness. And then we're going to mix in the cinnamon. So I'm just going to make sure my butter is melting, and it is. So then is going to be the marshmallows. So while that's melting, I can get my marshmallows ready. So it says that we need 5.5 cups. Again, don't worry about the amounts I'm using. So you're going to prepare your marshmallows, your 5.5 cups, and you're going to be tossing them in once your butter is melted. And I will show you in a second the melted butter. And stir it all together. So we're going to have the melted butter, then the marshmallows will slowly melt too. Stir, stir, stir that. And then when that's all melted and mixed up and gooey, I'm going to add my little bit of cinnamon, which adds a really nice flavor to the cocoa treats. Okay, so the butter's doing pretty well. It's almost ready for me to add the marshmallows. So I'm going to get ready to do that. Let me open this a little wider. So like I said, you guys, we come in from outdoors. We want something warm. Maybe we have cocoa. There's so many cool cocoa mixes now. I know Miss Elda on our website has shown how to make hot cocoa bombs. So there's just so many cool ways to bake and use those flavors from cocoa in the winter. I think we think of the cold and cocoa more than in the summertime, right? Most of us don't want hot cocoa in the middle of summer. Okay, so this is just about ready. You can see how you can see it kind of streaky and liquidy. So there's my butter. I'm going to turn the heat down just a little. At home, you would not lift it up like that, and you would definitely use your grown-ups' help, friends. So I'm going to be putting my marshmallows in. So one. Get another cup here. I will say, too, that if you are making the full recipe, the pan I'm using, which isn't super big, might not be big enough for 5.5 or even 4.5 cups of marshmallows. So that's something to keep in mind. Kind of eyeball it. Or if you wanted to ahead of time, I'm just showing you guys step by step. But sometimes I'll even set out all my ingredients and pour them each out so they're ready. And then once you're done with one step, you can just move right to the next step. Okay, so there is all of that. I'm going to start stirring in a second. But once it's melted, I got to really mix in the cinnamon quickly. So I have my cinnamon. I'm going to measure it and set it aside. That way, when it's melted and ready, because I told you we're going to turn the heat off pretty quick and it's going to get pretty sticky very quickly, that we want as much ready as we can. So I'm going to start stirring my marshmallows. So also, like Miss Jen said, I was never a huge fan of winter. I like it. I like certain things about it. I like certain foods. I do like walking with Sadie, my dog, in the snow. But one of the other things is you just find things that you like, and cocoa is definitely one of them, for sure. So what you'll see as you're stirring at home is you have all these tiny marshmallows, and suddenly they're kind of disappearing their shapes, and it's just going to be like one big globby looking marshmallow kind of thing. So I'm also going to get my pan ready a little bit closer to my marshmallow mixture. Okay, it's starting to melt pretty well. So we're almost ready. Sadie. All right, she's thinking about making a cameo, you guys. All right, they're melting pretty well here. I'd say we're about 75% melted. So in a second, I'm turning off the heat, mixing that cinnamon in. And I'll show you these in a second. Do you guys have, other than cocoa, maybe hot cider, maybe some kind of special warm and tummy-warming food treat, or soup, or stew maybe, or chili? There's so many great foods that can warm us up and are just so tasty and are special treats. Also, like I said, a lot of you guys are probably familiar with Rice Krispie treats, and if you look online, there are so many great ways to modify cereal treats. We do gluten-free sometimes in my family. This is definitely not, and I would advise anyone who has special dietary to always do your own research, even if you're getting a recipe off the internet. Okay, I'm going to show you the mixture in a minute, but it's ready, so I'm plopping in my cinnamon. But there are certain cereals, for example, that are gluten-free. There's even a gluten-free version of Rice Krispies. Chex Mix is gluten-free. I saw that Cocoa Pebbles is gluten-free. So you can take it and adapt these things. I'm using Cocoa Puffs. You could use Cocoa Pebbles. You can use gluten-free Rice Krispies and make Rice Krispie treats. Okay, I'm turning the heat off. I'm going to show you guys really quick. So we've got melted marshmallow and butter with some cinnamon. Okay, so we have our marshmallowy mixture. What is next, Miss Jen? We stirred in our cinnamon. So now we got to fold in our Cocoa Puffs cereal. Okay, here we go. So I need a few cups here. Okay, so we've got marshmallows. We've got butter, right? We've got cinnamon. Now we need the main attraction, the chocolate, which is the cereal. Okay, there's my cereal in. So they're saying to fold it. What does that mean? I think I've talked about this before. Basically, you start at the bottom and rotate and flip. So it's like kind of going like this, over and over and over again. Because I really want to coat all of this cereal with this marshmallow butter cinnamon mixture, okay? Oh my gosh, I'll show you guys. It kind of looks like spider webs a little bit, to be honest. You could probably freeze it like this and make it like a creepy Halloween thing, right? Chocolate cocoa spider web mix or something. Just get creative and call it whatever you want. Okay, so this is almost done being folded, meaning I'm trying to get all the cereal coated with the marshmallow. Okay, I will say too, before I forget, when we're done here at the end, unfortunately, friends, even though it looks delicious, this marshmallow has gotten quite hot. So this is going to go in the refrigerator at the end. And it's going to have to be in there for, let's see, I think it's like a couple hours. Oh my gosh. But guess what? That means it'd be done right around dinner time then, which would work out really well. Okay, so all of my cereal is coated in this marshmallow. Next step is to, let me make sure, let me read one more time because we don't want to do the wrong step. We can always fix it. So pour the cereal mixture into the casserole. And then, hold on, let's see, fold in, cereal's coated. Oh, I'm sorry, we also have to fold in some more marshmallows. I'm glad I double checked. And our chocolate chips. Okay, so I'm going to take a few more marshmallows. Now, these aren't really going to melt because the heat is off. So this is just more to give you extra flavor. And here are those marshmallows like floating in your cocoa, right? And then the chips and the chocolate and the white chips are just extra fun too. So I'm going to do just a little bit. Just to give you an idea, I'm just doing a quarter cup of each because most of it is going to come, the flavor, from the cereal and the marshmallow. But it's nice to get, you're biting in, all of a sudden it's like a little fun marshmallow chocolate surprise. Okay, so I'm going to fold this a little more because we want to coat everything in the marshmallowy sticky goodness. You really can't go wrong. If this happens to be a little warm still and your chips melt, gosh, that's a shame. No, you just have more yummy mixture then, right? You have more yummy chocolate little pockets, like pockets of surprise. What is better than biting into something and having a little tiny surprise white chocolate or milk chocolate or dark chocolate? That sounds so good. Okay. So once you feel like it's all kind of caught in your marshmallow web, it says pour it into your dish, and then you're going to press it down. So I'm going to pour this into my dish here. And I'll show you guys in 1 second. See, it's very sticky. It doesn't even really want to come out too much. There we go. And I'm going to kind of scrape it. Try to get all that yummy marshmallow cereal out as best I can. Okay, so here we go. It's sitting like a giant lump, right? But this is pretty flexible. It's almost like having food clay or something, edible clay. So I'll show you in 1 second. I'm basically using my spatula and smoothing it out. I can smell, oh my gosh, you guys, I wish we had smell vision. I wish you could smell the chocolate that I'm smelling right now and the marshmallow. It's so good. I think I know what my family's having for dessert tonight. Okay, so I have it pretty evenly spread. And then what I chose to do, and you can do whatever you want because it's your version of the recipe. I didn't have any of those little tiny bars available, and I didn't really want to buy them just for this. So I'm just going to take a little handful of the chips and kind of spread them around the top and then push them in with the spatula. I'm just using my hand, excuse me, so that way I can kind of control where they go. And then the marshmallow honestly could still be a little warm, so I'm going to use the back of my spatula and just push down, and I'll show you in a second. Okay. So let's see what we've got. Ta-da! So you can see the marshmallows. You can see some of the other whitest chips. Like right here, some chips. And that's it. So then at that point, you would put it in the fridge because we want it to cool because marshmallow, I don't know if you've ever had a s'more and it comes out of the fire and you go to eat the marshmallow and it can burn your tongue a little bit because that melted marshmallow gets so warm and then it sticks. So it's like the double whammy when it comes to a hot food that you could burn your lips or your tongue. So we're going to put it in the fridge for a little bit. It says 2 hours. Again, I always just, maybe after an hour, hour and a half, you can check it. As long as it's not hot to the touch and it seems firm, and you can even try to take a knife and test it, try to cut it a little bit and see if it looks like it's ready to go. And it will cut nicely, because it does. If it's done and solid and ready, then you're good to go. Once it has done that, it does not have to stay in the fridge any longer. Once it's cooled down, once it's ready to go, there's nothing in here that needs to stay refrigerated, so it can stay on your counter. You can put foil over it. You could put it in an airtight container, and it should last for several days. Or you can freeze some of it if you want. Okay? I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you can have real cocoa, bake the cocoa treats. Let us know how it turns out. You can write a comment on the video. You can email me at kidspace, KIDSPACE at Gale Borden. That's the department that I work in, the big building. We'd love to see you guys. Come in and visit. Say, hi, Miss Jen. I watched your video and I tried it and it turned out great. Or we tried it this way. We love to have visitors. We love to have our friends come see us. And I hope you'll tune in next time. We've got an interesting couple of recipes coming up. The next one, I believe, is on April Fool's. And all I'm going to say is it's kind of silly, it's kind of fun, and it's going to look like something, but is it really what it looks like? Is it a trick? Or is it really the food you think? And then I'm going to eat it, and you're going to go, oh my gosh, no way, and I'm going to teach you how to make it. So those are hints. So keep an eye out for the baking coming up on April Fool's. Thanks so much, everybody. Enjoy the balmy, warm 25 degrees today. Have a good weekend. We'll see you soon. Bye.